everyone, my name is Gloria Michelle Leal, and my case presentation is on Martin. Martin is a 27-year-old Italian citizen who moved to the United States in 2015. Can you talk a little bit about where you're from?
I'm from Italy, and I have 6 years living over here in the United States. Okay. And before I came over here, I was just speaking Italian, and right now I'm learning Spanish and English.
Okay.
And that's it.
Did you ever speak English in Italy?
I studied English over there in Italy, but my English was bad. Like probably don't even a conversation I was able to have.
Okay.
And I went in Ireland and Dublin for like 2 months to study English, but the result was like the same thing. So I didn't learn too much, and plus the accent is different from the English that I learned over there to the English that I started learning over here.
Martin goes on to explain that he took the required English classes from kindergarten to high school, and then took 1 semester of English, which was required to fulfill his college credit. Martin stated that he was not exposed to English outside of the academic setting, with the exception of occasionally listening to English music. He stated that he did not see any importance in learning English at that time because he did not plan to leave Italy. A series of oral and reading comprehension tests, interviews, and a writing assessment were used to examine Martin's English language abilities. As the researcher, I used the Student Oral Language Observation Matrix, or SOLAM, and the Texas English Language Proficiency Assessment System, TELPAS, to rate and assess Martin's English abilities and level. During the first interview, Martin and I discussed his educational background, his life in Italy, and his experience moving to the United States and learning English. Using the SOLAM, I gave Martin the score of 20. In the area of comprehension, I rated Martin a 4 because he understood nearly all questions and only asked for repetition or clarification on 2 occasions. Martin's speech was generally fluent, and when he was searching for the correct word, he would rephrase quickly, which is why I rated him a 4 for fluency. Martin's vocabulary was appropriate to the conversation, and he rarely had to rephrase an answer, which also resulted in a rating of 4. Martin has an accent, and his pronunciation had occasional inappropriate intonation patterns, but his message was clear and understandable, and was rated a 4. Finally, he made occasional grammatical errors, such as mixing future and past tenses, but these did not obscure meaning, and I rated him a 4. In the second interview, Martin discussed a past event, future event, created a story from a wordless picture, wrote a short passage describing his work, and read aloud along with answering comprehension questions. Because of the variety of language assessment activities, I used TELPAS for a more detailed understanding of Martin's English abilities. In his discussion of a past event, his first day of college, Martin frequently interchanged past, present, and future tenses.
When I went over there, like inside the college, I started like, of course, with I remember it was math, the first, lesson. I rent an apartment over there.
I also observed an instance of negative transfer when Martin referred to his professor introducing himself as the instructor presented himself. In Italian, the word would have been presentare.
He presented with himself to everybody, and that's it. It was probably a couple hundred people. After school, I was like playing soccer.
Martin and I also discussed future plans, which were what he was going to be doing for Christmas this year. During this activity, I observed that Martin did not use helping verbs on several occasions.
We do like the night dinner together. We're gonna go outside usually to go to the restaurant and eating with everybody, like all the friends and family.
Now I'm going to show you a picture. And I would like, there's no right or wrong answer. I would like you to make up a story based on the picture. Okay?
Okay. So, a story of a little baby girl that with the umbrella, so she's going outside, and it's raining pretty bad, and then the little baby girl start raining, and she's gonna uh, like drop the umbrella. I don't know. It's a little bird on top of the tree that, and the bird is gonna take the umbrella, and she's gonna be like all wet, and so on the other picture, yeah, actually the bird is gonna take the umbrella away, and it's gonna take to the little birds, and it's gonna do a little nest like on top of the tree.
I was able to evaluate Martin's proficiency using telepath speaking domains and determine his proficiency level to be advanced. Martin was comfortable speaking about his past experiences, plans for the future, and creating a story based on a wordless picture. His pronunciation would be understood by people who are not accustomed to interacting with English language learners, and he asked for questions to be repeated when he did not understand or needed further clarification. Martin also demonstrated the ability to use a variety of tenses, although he still needs practice in using each tense consistently without switching tenses in the same discussion. Martin also wrote a short passage describing his day at work. Using the telepath writing domains, I determined Martin's writing level as advanced. Martin made no spelling errors and used vocabulary common in his field, plant instead of oil refinery. Martin's writing would be understandable to people not accustomed to the writing of English language learners. Martin made 2 grammatical mistakes, install instead of installed, and need instead of needs. Martin also participated in a read aloud activity and answered a series of comprehension questions. During this activity, Martin read aloud one paragraph with 2 minor errors, stating 145,000 people instead of 145,000, and having difficulty pronouncing throughout. Martin answered 12 of the 14 comprehension questions, as he stated he did not know the answer to 2 questions, numbers 3 and 11, although he was told he could refer to the reading and the questions were repeated. He answered the 12 questions correctly, although he made a mistake on one but quickly corrected his answer. Overall, Martin read at an appropriate rate, was able to use basic and higher order skills to answer comprehension questions, but still needed support to determine or clarify meaning, which is why he received an advanced proficiency level for the reading domain. Martin made a variety of syntax mistakes, although generally they did not detract from the meaning of his intended message. The most common error was using the wrong tense. For example, while speaking about a past event, he stated, "I rent an apartment," instead of rented, or "I was playing soccer," instead of "I played soccer." One of the greatest differences between English and Italian is the genderization of nouns. All Italian nouns, whether their referent is animate or inanimate, are classified by gender. The choice is usually morphologically and phonologically determined. When speaking about his life or completing the activities required by the researcher, Martin made no attempt to assign gender to words in English, which demonstrates an advanced level of the English language. While he was living in Italy, Martin did not find value in learning English as he did not plan on leaving Italy. Martin was exposed to English throughout his academic career, but did not find any importance in it as he admits he had the opportunity to learn basic English starting from kindergarten until his graduation from college. After moving to the United States to marry his wife, Martin quickly understood he would need to learn English to find a job, interact with others, and secure a better future for his family. This is an example of instrumental motivation. Martin met his wife in college while she was studying abroad in Italy. Martin's wife is Mexican-American and speaks English, Italian, and Spanish. Martin learned English and Spanish simultaneously upon his arrival to the United States, as his wife's family speaks mostly Spanish. While it made communicating with his family easier, he stated that having the choice to speak either Spanish or English was a detriment to learning English.
I think always the best thing is if you don't have nobody that speak your native language, you're gonna start speaking the language. So if it was everybody like around me speaking English, it would be different because I was like, I had to speak English. I had to understand English. But when I came over here, it was different because it was like people speaking Spanish, Italian, and English. So it was all mixed. So for me, it was easier. Which one was the the easy language to speak with the people? I was going to speak like Spanish or Italian or English. So the last one was English, of course.
Martin stated he has no plans to enroll in English classes at this time, but believes that with time his English pronunciation and skills will improve.